Yo, all right, so today we're going to be talking about types of crushes that you have in your 20s, obviously, by the title. Do I have a degree in psychology? No, I don't. Am I somebody that is in their 20s who has had crushes? Yes, I am. So, because of that, I think I'm pretty qualified. So yeah, let's talk about it. All right, so we're going to start this off with one that I think everybody has had at one point. It's the unattainable one. This is the person that is exactly who you're looking for. 10 out of 10 across the board, no matter what it is, okay? Even though they're probably a perfect 8 out of 10 realistically. For whatever reason, you know deep down you're never going to be getting together. Maybe they are in a relationship. Maybe you're in a relationship. That's crazy, but maybe you are. Maybe you just aren't their type, but for whatever reason, you're never going to be talking to this person seriously, and you know that. But it almost gives you like this fuel to keep the crush going on, you know? It gives you this fuel to basically fantasize about somebody who you can never get. It's right underneath a celebrity crush, if you will. There's a celebrity crush, and then there's the unattainable one. The thing with the celebrity crush is that you know that's never gonna happen. The unattainable one is just unattainable. And you go through your 20s, maybe your early teenage years, maybe even your early 30s, thinking about this person. And if you're around them, it just makes it worse. It's funny that I mentioned the celebrity crush because that's actually the next one that we're going to be talking about. Basically, the celebrity crush is something that everybody has. Maybe you know every song in their discography. Maybe you know that they were a break dancer as a teenager, and for some reason, nobody talks about it now. Doja Cat. Maybe you know what school they went to. You've seen every interview that millions of other people have seen, but you can see behind the facade, okay? You can see behind their stage name. You know who they are, and you know for a fact that if life was perfect and you were able to meet this person one day, you would be instantly best friends, fall in love, everything would be great. But sadly, that is a fantasy. That's probably never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen with anybody. And the great thing in that is that that's okay. That makes it even better because you know this person can never reject you. You can put this person onto a pedestal and frame them in your mind how you want to see them. It almost gives you a perfect person to kind of work towards finding in your life, if you will. Now, the thing with the celebrity crush is some people kind of take it a little too far. Some people really go through their life trying to find someone similar, and it just never happens because it's celebrity. It's only one of the person. You know what I mean? But you feel like you're special. You feel like if you were to meet them, you would fall in love instantly because you know every single song in their discography. Because you know what was the first movie that they ever played in. You know what plays they were in high school when they were 14 and 15 years old. You know this about them. So because you know this, you actually might have a chance. All right, now we got the work crush. The work crush is an interesting one because the craziest part about the work crush is if you were not put into the same building simply to make money, because it's the only reason why you're there, realistically, unless you're passionate about it, even then, you would never talk to this person outside of work. If you've seen this person, you might not even think anything of them. You would just walk past them on the street. But because you work with them and they make your day a little bit better, and you might find them just a little bit attractive, okay? You think you're in love with them. It's have you ever heard of the term having a work wife or having a work husband? A lot of people have that. They will come to work, see these people, and that will be the highlight of their day, okay? The highlight of their day. And that's the thing. It's just a work crush. You can, of course, go with the work crush, especially if you're on the same level. You can definitely go with the work crush, see if it works out. But realistically, you try to make a move, you're probably gonna get HR called on you. And that's no bueno. So that's just how it is with the work crush. You're gonna meet this person at work. They're gonna make your dreadful day a little bit better. You're gonna like them. They're gonna think you're funny. You're gonna think they're funny. But that's all it's gonna be. Simple work crush who you're never even gonna talk to outside of work. Think about it. People that have work crushes. Have you ever talked to this person outside of work? And if you have, you're probably in a relationship. Besides that, work crush is just a work crush, okay? It's just somebody who you see at work, you find attractive, and they make your day a little bit better. The mirror. Now, this one is an interesting one because you like this person simply because they remind you of yourself. or at least of who you were at one point. And maybe you want to get back to that. So you see that in this person, and because of that, it kind of draws you to them. They might not even be the most attractive person to you, but you feel like you understand this person. You feel like they'll understand you more than anybody ever would because you're so much alike. Obviously, you were made for each other, right? Nah. That also is sadly a fantasy. Most of the time in real life, relationships, in relationships, people should be compatible. 100%. Yes, you should be compatible. But I don't think it will ever really work out if you're dating someone who's exactly like you. What if you're making a bad decision? That person's going to agree with you. What if you need to count out some variables, make a pros and cons list about some things? That person's going to side with whatever you're going to. They're not going to give you any type of critical thinking because they are a mirror of you. That is somebody who you simply keep as a homie, who you keep as a homegirl, homeboy, whatever it is, and you keep it pushing. Because dating somebody who is just like you, I've done it in the past, I will tell you, it never works out. I get annoyed very quickly, okay? But with people who are opposites of me, we flourish. I'm in a relationship right now, 6 years, and we're flourishing. The exotic one. This is one of the ones. You see them for the first time, and you realize you've never really seen too many people like them in your life. Okay? Maybe they have tan skin and blue eyes and long grayish brown hair or something like that. But you just don't know many people like that. Or maybe they're just from a different city. Maybe they have just a different accent. Maybe you're from Chicago and they got a Boston accent. Maybe you're from LA and they got a British accent. Whatever it is. This person being different simply makes you want them just because you weren't used to this person. And now, most of the time, besides that, nothing really draws you to them. Besides the allure of being with somebody different than everybody else that you know. Because of that, it makes it fun. It makes it so that you want to keep on this. It makes it feel like if you were to get with this person, you would be chosen. It makes it feel like if you were to get with this person, everybody would look at you and be like, wow, that person. He's with somebody who we don't know. He's with somebody who we've never seen before. So because of that, you feel special. And that's how an exotic crush works. It's almost like seeing a girl on Instagram and someone who you never seen before. You're just like, man, I wish I could get that. Right? I don't do that, but some people do. And because of that, you're over here thinking, man, if I could just make a move on that person, people will look at me and think I'm like the coolest guy ever. Okay? It's almost like having a trophy. The thing is, that's all it is. It's just, there's nothing else that really draws you to them besides the fact that they might have a slightly different accent. They might look different than you, and you want them because of that. That's simple. The superior. This kind of falls under the same lines as the unattainable one, but this person is basically your hot boss, manager, hot teacher at school, hot professor. Okay, we've all had those. And you simply think because they are over you, that makes them so sexy. Deep down, you might like being dominated. You might love the idea of somebody telling you what to do and you bending them over in a closet later on that day, okay? You might love that idea. But deep down, you know that's never gonna happen. Happen with me. But you know that's probably never gonna happen for you realistically, because maybe you think that you could be the one to make them break their code and risk their livelihood with a chance of being with you. But in reality, you try that, you're probably gonna get reported. You're probably gonna get reported. 99% of the time, it's not gonna work out. They're not gonna give you any time of day. They're not even gonna let you exercise the idea of a relationship because they're your superior. No matter what the situation is, if that person is your superior, the best scenario you can get is leaving whatever situation you're in and trying to talk to them afterwards. Because trying to do that while you're at the same job or you're at the same school, more likely it's never going to work out. And then also, after you leave that environment, you're going to realize that you didn't really like this person. You just like the idea of having somebody dominate you. That's really all it is, in my opinion. You admire them from afar, but keep pushing. Because most times if you try, they'll probably just report you anyway. This is another one that I really, really like talking about, because I feel like this is a lot of people, especially on social media and these dating shows like The Perfect Match. The 10 out of 10 or the eye candy. This is the rare find. Looks wise, they're everything you need, okay? Maybe they got an Ice Spice body with a Mara de la Negra face, okay? Maybe they're the most beautiful person you've ever seen, but that's all it is. They've got nothing else to offer you. When you have a conversation with this person, you realize you are so different in so many ways. You realize that you're more different than this person than you've probably ever been with anybody else in your entire life that you've met. But they're extremely attractive. You don't even find them funny. You don't laugh at their jokes. If you do, you fake laugh. But they're beautiful. And that alone makes you fantasize about living a life together, having beautiful children. Even though if you were to go on a date with this person, besides looking at them, you'd probably get bored in about 5 minutes. But that's the 10 out of 10 eye candy. We've all been there. We've all seen that, those one or two extremely beautiful people in our lives, and are just like, damn, I need that. Let me go try to get with that. But that's all it is. Once you try it, you realize it's all it is. It's just that they don't really have anything to offer you, okay? And then a lot of the time, these 10 out of 10s are eye candy. They know their 10 out of 10s are eye candy, so they're gonna try to play games with you. And unless you're like 15 years old, we don't. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that, okay? Like, that simply ain't nobody got time for that. The stranger. I feel like everybody has had this one. Everybody. And let me just give you a scenario. You're in a subway, right? You're in a subway. You're sitting there on your phone. You're all alone. You're having a pretty bad day. Maybe you just got out of a breakup or something. And across the lane, sitting on a bench, is a cute girl or a cute guy. And you look up, they look up, you lock eyes, and they smile at you. You smile back. But you never say a single word to that person. You never see them again after that, okay? You don't know who they are, nothing about them, but you love the idea of them. You don't know them personally, so they can't disappoint you. It's kind of similar to the unattainable one as well, but it's not, because you could attain them, but they're just a stranger to you. You don't know them. But as soon as you see them, you think you're in a 2006 rom-com, probably starring Cameron Diaz or Ashton Kutcher or something like that. You're like, man, if I see this person again, it must be the universe trying to tell me something. It must be meant to be. But in reality, it's just a cute person who you saw, and that's all it was. You want the idea of that person who is just going to come into your life and make everything feel better, but it's probably not going to be that person. It's going to be somebody who you actually are going to have a deep conversation with, not somebody who you just saw randomly on the subway. The clerk. Now, this one is similar, very similar to the stranger, except this is somebody who you might see on occasion. Imagine you're at a Target checking out, or you're at a T-Mobile trying to get a new phone, and this person is just being extra nice. They're smiling. They're being really cordial with you. They're trying to have a good vibe with you. Like, they're just trying to have a good conversation, and because of that, you're like, wait a second. Does this person like me? Is this person into me? Right? Like, hold on. What is this? Even though they just gave the 76-year-old old man the exact same energy, and the 12-year-old girl behind you the same energy, and you've seen that, you think what you two have is special, and that you're in love, and that if you keep coming to the store, maybe they'll notice you more. Now, do you need to get eggs every day? You don't need to get eggs every day, but you can get them once every 2 days. Because of that, you're gonna go every Tuesday and every Thursday at 2 p.m. and go to the same lane, because you know that's where they're going to be. You're gonna have the same conversation with them every day. But most likely, you're never gonna actually try to talk to them. You actually might be a good match. You actually might get somewhere if you tried. But This is just somebody who you see at the store. You like the idea of it. You like the fantasy of it. And that's all it is. That's all it is, okay? I remember when I was 17 years old, I went into a T-Mobile to try to get a phone. There was this girl, and again, I'm saying this while in a relationship. Nothing crazy, but there was this girl. She was really, really, really beautiful. Really nice to talk to. Really cool girl. To me, I was like, wow, this girl is just really attractive and really nice. She wasn't giving anybody else that energy, but to me, this girl liked me. Realistically, she was doing her job. Okay, she's trying to get a sale. And if she wasn't, hey, it is what it is. But we all have had those experiences where we just meet somebody or we see somebody, just a random McDonald's cashier even. You're like, that person's beautiful. I need them in my life. But it's similar to the stranger. It's like the idea of them. You don't know them. They can't disappoint you. And it just makes you excited to see somebody who might like you back. Simple little crush right there. Now, this is one of my favorite ones. The gentleman, or the cougar or MILF. Whatever way you go, just an older person who is extremely attracted to you. In my opinion, they got to be at least 35 years old. Probably 40 if they're a man. At least 10 years older than you. At least. Realistically, it should probably be like 15 or more. But at least 10 years older than you. Maybe you've had a good conversation or two. Maybe you met them at a bar, right? Maybe you met them at a bar and you see them every few weeks. You're always having a great conversation. They're just really attractive. They got their, they got their girls out, They all suit up with their tie, whatever it is. You find them extremely attractive, but you realize that this person's just simply too old for you to take serious. Like, that you might even have a hookup once or twice. But realistically, nothing ever is really gonna come for that just because of the age gap. And if it does, hey, look, marry that person. But realistically, the cougar or the gentleman is just somebody who is older, you find attractive, you like the maturity, you like the stability. You might even like the idea of being taken care of. So you see this person, you want them, and you think you can get them. And a lot of times, you probably can. All right, we're gonna talk about the rebellious one. Now, maybe it's the tattoos. Maybe it's the fact they be having their hair messy. Maybe they skateboard. Maybe they smoke a lot of weed. Maybe they show up to work late every day and they don't care. No one says anything to them because they know they're gonna get a crazy reaction. Whatever it is, you love their don't give up attitude. You love it. And most of the times, you feel like if you can get a slither of their attention, you're special because they don't care about anything. But if they care about you, if they like you, that makes you special. That validates you in every single way, okay? Nobody else matters. That makes you cool. Maybe you're extremely responsible and this person brings out that fun side. Maybe you crave instability because you've been holding everything together for so long. But this rebellious person over here, they're fun, they're hot, they're funky, they're going out, they're partying. And you want to be a part of that. You secretly crave that. And it makes you want to go around them, makes you love them. But I'll tell you right now, a lot of the times messing with those girls or guys, if that's not the kind of person you are, realistically, that flame's going to die out quick. And they're probably going to leave you on red after about 3 days of texting and maybe even a hookup. But that's all you're going to get. If it does work out, good for you. But realistically, that's probably just going to be a crush that you have and that you're going to tell people about 10 years and I'll be like, man, I was talking to this one girl and, whew, it's a cautionary tale, if you will. The mystery. Now, this is the person that doesn't really talk much, doesn't really open up much to many people, but you want to be the one that makes them crack. You feel like if you can get some information about their personal life, if you can find out their mom's name, if you can just get a regular, not a hi, how you're doing conversation out of them, that makes you special. That makes them like you. That makes you that person that broke down their wall. And don't let them be attractive too. That makes you just want them more, okay? We've all had a mysterious person who we look at and we're like, man, they don't talk much. I wonder what they're about. Everybody's had it. Everybody's had it. If you haven't had it, you're gonna have it one day in the future, okay? Probably in your 20s. But yeah, this is somebody who realistically, once you get to know them, they're actually a really cool person as well. Just a normal person like everybody else. And once that allure is gone, of the mysteriousness, you're just like, oh, cool. You know, you'll probably be a homie afterwards. Maybe you'll go on a date or two. But a lot of times, once that mystery, once that wall is down, you're just like, oh, that was cool. That's about it. And that's gonna be the video. I mean, there are definitely other ones I can talk about, but I feel like this set is a nice little standard that everybody's kind of relate to. So yeah, I mean, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around this long if you have. Hopefully I see you next time.